When I think about modern gliding, this is what I envisage. Ultra efficient, super sleek machines designed to eke every last piece of lift from the atmosphere. I imagine them being flown by highly skilled pilots with hundreds of hours and many years of soaring in their logbooks. So, when I was invited to try gliding at my local club, you can imagine my surprise when they show me my vintage open cockpit aircraft and then introduced me to my very young looking teenage pilot. At first, I was unsure. But man, what a ride!
That was mad!
A few months ago I received a lovely invite from a guy over at my local gliding club at Wormingford to visit and go for a flight in a glider. In his email he said that they didn't normally allow powered aircraft to visit, but they had an open day coming up where they would allow limited visitors to fly in. So today's the day. Vince has been invited as well in g-oopy, so he's flown over from Northfield to meet me, and then we'll do the short 10-minute flight to Wormingford together.
Golf Papa Yankee rolling.
Vince goes first as I line up on the easterly runway behind him.
Charlie Zulu rolling 09 right.
It's actually a really nice day today weather-wise, with a 12-knot easterly wind blowing straight down the runway, blue skies and a temperature on the ground of 22 degrees Celsius. There have been some storms overnight and the forecast was suggesting some scattered heavy rain showers may appear during the day, but it really didn't feel like they would affect our flight or the flying.
Flaps are up.
Golf Papa Yankees roll clear of the zone to the north east. Going to change now over to Wormingford on 123815.
Golf Papa Yankee, have a nice flight.
Cheers, buddy.
So as Vince changes frequency, let's take a look at our very short route today. We've just departed runway 09 right at Andrewsfield, and if we just continued flying easterly for 7 minutes, we'd be there. However, we have the little airfield of Earlscolne in the way, so we turn northeasterly after departure and skirt around the top of Earlscolne's traffic zone. Because there will likely be a lot of glider traffic, some without radio, Vince and I have decided to hold north of the airfield just to the south of the 800-foot high Sudbury mast, and we'll do that at low level, where we can view the traffic and launch operations from a distance until we can get an opportunity to land. There's no official chart for Wormingford, however from our brief and Google Maps we've established that they have one grass runway at a massive 1,600 metres or 5,250 feet long in an approximate east-west orientation. Our brief also suggested landing to the north side of the 50 metre or 165 foot wide runway, as winch launching would be in operation and the winch cables will run along the south side of the runway. It seems funny to be heading for a glider airfield, as we normally do everything to try and avoid them.
Yeah, we do have a FLAM receiver, which is the kind of like the transponder version for gliders, which we can pick up, although they can't pick us up because we don't have a transmitter. I like flying into the honeypot.
I think it's that in its 2 o'clock position. Looks like it.
Yeah. So the airfield is just coming up. Vince has seen it. I can't quite see it yet.
Yeah, I haven't quite got it. Yeah, I'm not really looking properly. Oh yeah, I got it. You gone over to me? Have you broadcast anything yet? Oh, I'm just on this frequency. I'm going to just I'm going to start orbiting in about 2 minutes and wait for you to be in the rough area. Okay, what height are you at? I'm at 1,300 feet. 1,300 feet, sorry, altitude, yeah. So I'll stay above you then. If I stay at 1,700, then I won't interfere with you. You just come over the top. Roger that. Right, let's give them a call. Wormingford, Golf November Juliet Charlie Zulu. Sport cruiser just orbiting to the north, powered aircraft just orbiting to the north of the field. Intending on landing and just want to know what your current status is.
It's got Victor Kilo on the ground, north side now. They're just launching a glider. You'll probably see it pop up. Can you land on the north side of the runway and then taxi to the north or the west end and park up on the north side of the west end? South side of the runway.
Yeah, that should be good. Okay, well, we're just at the stub of, or just by the mast at the moment, so we're just orbiting near there, and there's two of us actually. So we'll work our way towards the airfield.
Yeah, just give us a call when you establish downwind. We were using either circuit, but predominantly I think 09 left hand.
Wormingford has no official radio frequency, however the glider launching team do have an air-to-ground radio, but our initial call had been answered by a motor glider taxiing for takeoff. I spot an opportunity and head for final as one glider gets launched and a second one is ready to go. I should be able to land as soon as that second one gets airborne.
Busy, busy, busy. Brakes are off, undercarriage is down fixed, mixture you haven't got, fuel pumps on, fuel sufficient for go around, there's a glider launching. We're hatched, harnessed. That glider's failed.
Aircraft on final to Wormingford. Be advised, glider is landing at the launch point. Please go long and land at the clubhouse.
We'll go copy that, yeah, visual with the, we got it back anyway. Okay, yeah, landing long and we'll land to the north side of the runway and just going to go over the top of you.
So that glider that was launching has just had a failed launch. He's got to around 200 foot and the cable's broken. Amazingly, he does a 270 degree turn and lands back at the launch area. There's also a motor glider now starting to backtrack on the main runway. Jeez!
Paul, I'll stop before the intersection, give you a chance to land 09.
Oh, is that the crop? Yeah, just keep going and I'll just land behind you.
Okay, over the top of the launch area, and I've now got Winch joining final behind me.
Happy Yankees just coming on final now, just behind the powered sports cruiser.
So I now just need to fly over the motor glider on the runway, and I can finally land on the grass behind him.
See what I mean? Crazy, isn't
I
it?
can't land on the right side of the runway because there's still a winch cable there.
Yeah, got Happy Yankees also visual with the grub. I'm going to land well after you.
It seems like I'm going so slow as the runway is really wide. Vince gets cut up by a glider behind me, and as they have the right of way, he elects to go around as I finally touch down.
Golf Happy Yankee, I'm going around this glider coming down on final.
Come on in. Anywhere? Anywhere? No, he don't care.
As I get to the parking area, I tried to signal to what I thought was a marshaller if it was okay to just dump the aircraft there. Obviously the guy had nothing to do with the operations as he just ignored me. As I park up, I see Vince going around for another crack at it.
Well, that was a bit crazy. But Vince didn't make it, he's got to go around again.
Vince lands on the second approach and we both go and grab a coffee from the snack bar. Vince needed to get back to North Weald as he really only wanted to get the experience and airfield onto his logbook. So he taxis out and departs about half an hour after we'd arrived. So I'm going to stay here and do a little bit of filming. Vince is on his way, he's going back, he needs to go home early. Vince. I meet up with my host Kamil, and as a thank you for inviting me, I take him flying in the sport cruiser.
Really doesn't take long to get going, does
No,
it?
that's why it's called short field.
I hand the controls over to him, and it's immediately obvious he's at home in the air. It turns out that 18-year-old Kamil is quite an experienced glider pilot for his age, and pretty famous. He started flying gliders at just 13 years old, and at 17 he qualified as the youngest glider instructor in the country. He has been featured in the press and on national television for his amazing achievements. His ambition is to become an airline pilot, and I have no doubt at all that he will achieve his goal. Once back on the ground, Kamil shows me the winch operations, which I find fascinating. The winch itself is just a huge vehicle engine attached to a couple of cable drums. Once the glider is connected at the other end of the cable and the signal is sent to start the winching, the winch operator slowly starts to take up the slack in the cable. When the all-out signal is given, the winch operator then sets the power according to the glider's weight and winch specifications. The glider then accelerates to around 55 to 60 knots and climbs rapidly. It is up to the glider pilot to release the cable. However, once past the very top, the cable will release by itself. As a fail-safe, there's a weak link in the cable which is gauged for each modeler glider. Should there be an issue, for example the wrong power setting is selected on the winch, which is exactly what happened during the failed launch to the glider as I was landing earlier, the link will break to protect the glider. Once released, the winch operator then pulls the cable back in, ensuring it doesn't snag. So now it's my turn. I initially thought I would be taken up in one of those sleek modern gliders. However, Kamil recommends we go up in the 65-year-old T21 open cockpit glider. First flown in 1944, the Type 21 or T21 was built as a basic glider trainer by Slingsby sailplanes in Yorkshire. It was adopted by the RAF Training Corps as a primary trainer and nicknamed the Barge after its boat-like hull and sedate flying qualities. The T21 may not be the most aerodynamic looking sailplane, but it is very strong, has sedate handling and can even do some light aerobatics. Okay, here we go, and I'm going to try and talk you through my experience of riding the winch.
Here we go.
I'm pretty apprehensive as the slack gets taken up on the cable. I was expecting a jolt as the cable takes the load, however it's all nice and smooth. The acceleration is awesome. We go from 0 to 60 mile an hour in around 2 seconds, and I have to hold on to my cap as we almost immediately become airborne into the late summer afternoon air. I can hear a slight whine as the airflow rushes around the wing and the airframe. We're climbing at over 3,000 feet a minute, and I'm actually thinking, can this old bird take this kind of abuse? You can really see why that winch needs to be so powerful. The T21 weighs around half a ton and is generating a huge amount of drag, converting that winch energy into lift. As we approach the top of the ride, we're now at almost 1,600 feet as our rate of climb decreases just before Kamil releases the cable with a big clunk. The open cockpit of the T21 is huge, and that 4-point harness seems, well, kind of adequate, but it does feel as though you could easily just fall out at any time. Immediately, Kamil levels the glider out and turns to our right. The rush from the airflow now decreases, and I can finally stop holding on to my cap. I initially thought that we would drop like a brick once we were free from the winch, but I can't actually tell if we're descending or not. It seems that even a barge like this can stay aloft pretty well with a skilled pilot in command. It feels as though we're sitting on a park bench in the middle of a windy day, except we're over 1,000 feet up. We fly a right-hand circuit, and as this will be the T21's last flight of the day, Kamil plans to land at the far end of the runway, where I've parked my aircraft. We float down the runway, and it seems like we're never going to land. Kamil had shown me the small air brakes on the T21 while we were on the ground, but he said they were really just for show, as they had little effect in flight. The T21 only has a single wheel and a skid to land on, but Kamil greases the landing. We were airborne for just 5 minutes, but it felt much longer. What a ride!
Oh, that was really cool actually.
I don't know why. I just like when I first looked at it.
With the time now getting on and the evening starting to draw in, I say thank you and goodbye to Kamil and jump back into Charlie Zulu for the short flight back home. It's been a great day, and if you ever get the chance to fly a glider, just do it. The club at Wormingford, the Essex and Suffolk Gliding Club, have regular experience days, or if you're in the area, just pop in. They fly most good weather days and they'll show you around, and you may even get a flight. I've put their details in the description below. However, there's clubs up and down the country, and if you go to the British Gliding Association's website, you can find your local one. Thank you so much for watching. Fly safe and Shortfield out.